Yeah, I taught there last night and this morning.
Yeah. It's a good gym.
I love Ed Stahl.
Good group of guys.
Yeah, Ed Stahl is a very good dude. He's
another YouTube content creator like yourself. Makes great videos. He has an awesome video on Spike Spiegel. If you're an anime fan, you can check that out.
I don't know much about the anime, but he nails the crossover of anime and martial arts. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Fast and Furious right out the gate.
And it looks like Don Fry in there fighting as these two guys just come straight forward and start punching each other. Ryan Ferguson definitely looks like the kind of guy you'd fight outside of a bar on Tryon Street down here in Charlotte.
Except he's crisp with the straight punches and the kicks. Snapping that jab out there.
Orubor is quick. Orubor with some quick, lightning-fast straights into a clinch, and he goes right to the bottom.
Orubor in the right corner. Yeah, Orubor with crisp jabs, snappy punches, and big kicks.
That's why you can't just look at the tattoos, Mike. You'll get the confused.
They're basically the same thing. Good low kick from Orubor. He's all over Ryan Ferguson. Oh, good hard body shot there as he entered the clinch, and then Ferguson dropping his hands.
I think you can just come up in here in this cage and steal my tattoo?
Yeah, that is wild. I've never. Yeah, Orubor is crisp, man. Good combinations.
Yeah,
good combinations.
Very fast. You know, we said this in the last.
Look at that. He just oak treed a leg kick. He just stood there and he had his knee turned perfectly.
That's not a small boy throwing those either.
Yeah, Ferguson got a little bit more of that kick. But Ferguson threw a kick and Orubor just had his leg in the correct position to absorb every bit of it. Walks him into a right hand and then throws a straight when he sits still.
It's not just about how hard they're throwing the strikes or how quickly they're throwing the strikes. It seems like Anthony is just a little bit ahead on the angles, on the footwork as well. You see his feet are never quite crossed, never quite in the wrong space.
He's doing a very small thing. When Ferguson goes to throw his right kick, Orubor's bringing his left leg back a little and squaring a little bit to take a lot out of that kick on several of them. See how he's got his left toes pointed forward and out, and you see this, they both did the same technique, and you saw vastly different reactions.
Yeah, and the speed is the speed difference. You're talking about a frame 20 move versus a frame 6 move.
Right. Yes, good job. Orubor's, you're absolutely right. Just perfect positioning and angle of his body. He looks a little tired now.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, I mean, that was a round that was almost like a heavy bag round where the heavy bag is coming back and popping you because you're hitting it so hard. You know, he did take some shots, but it was mostly him unloading all weapons on Ryan Ferguson. So I'm excited. You know, this is, like we say, this is where it matters, right? We normally talk about this at the end of the third round, but now when you have a round like that where it's just so high volume, if you're not that guy in the gym, if you're not the high volume guy in the gym, you can't become that guy on fight night just because you're having some success.
Yeah, one thing that Anthony Orubor did do well is maintain his balance throughout all of that. He never overextended himself. Just very clean, very technical. Ferguson's going to have to either make some adjustments because I don't know that counting on Orubor to stop is a great strategy.
Yeah, it's not a great strategy, and no good coach would tell you that, and I know that is a good coach over
that's
there
a team
with
over there.
Cody Reese and Snake in the corner there. I don't think that they would bank on something like that.
Let's see what adjustments Ferguson makes. A little more careful with his range, it looks like, this time.
Yeah, he really, I mean, both guys really knew they were in a fight as soon as the bell rang. So now we're seeing a little bit more measured approach here in the second round. I think that's a good idea for Ferguson. He needs to try to get his hands around the timing.
Yeah, maybe be a little more. Yeah, that's fine. I saw Ferguson's corner call for a right hook off of something. I wasn't sure off of what, but it looks like it's off of that jab.
The speed differential is giving him fits.
He lands himself a low kick and then covers up and absorbs most of the impact. And there's a significant amount of speed and sharpness.
Yes.
Missing from Orubor's jab that was present in the first round. Orubor's jab is slowed and dulled.
To put it in day one striking terms, I'll say Anthony is always on the shortest possible line to the target, whereas you see Ferguson, he's having some success with the straights, but he's mostly going outside the box to try to swing into inside, and it's like a laser beam coming from those straights on board. But he is starting to slow down, and that's the big question.
His celerity has diminished.
Celerity, good word. Good word.
Oh, popping him with the jab. There you go. Sometimes it feels difficult later in the fight to pop the jab and you want to push because it feels like it's not doing anything. But if you touch someone in the nose, it doesn't feel good. You don't have to throw that jab hard. Good high kick. Just barely fell short. Yeah, that right hook has landed behind the ear for Ferguson, but in the headgear that makes it a little more difficult. You see the effect of Orubor's low kick.
Yeah, he turns him with that one. He turns the knee out, and he gets the visceral grimace on the face of Ferguson. Oh, and there's pieces of guys flying around in there in the ring. Joseph Hall's like, I don't know what that is, but I got it.
Yeah, Orubor.
Oh, man.
Oh, and he eats a right hand that not only pushes him back, it looks like his legs buckled a little.
Wow, man, even somehow even better round in my opinion for Anthony. And I'll just say real quick before we start talking about this fight here again, Joseph Hawes saw that thing fly out of the helmet, picked it up, stopped, and never took his eyes off the action.
Yeah.
He's just a true pro in there, a true pro. And every time he goes back to his corner, he looks dead beat. But man, that was a better round for him. That was a much better round. He's finding the target even easier. Yeah,
Ferguson was able to get a few right hooks in there, which is what it looks like Team Rock is calling for. It looks like his coach there is talking about the right hook.
Snake is very visual with his coaching.
Yeah.
It's usually easy for me to tell what he's looking for in the corner.
Yeah, between the first and second round, it was like, okay, the right hook is going to be a part of this, obviously. One strategy, coaches and aspiring coaches, one strategy you can watch the other corner. If you got three guys, have one of them watch the other corner.
I mean, all three guys here, and Cody as well in his own right. He's still an active fighter, but these corners here are legendary guys. Tony Tam, Kevin Ferrant in the corner. Both guys fought MMA. Both guys played a huge part in the development of the career of Brian Battle and many other fighters here. And Snake, his legacy speaks for himself. Everybody knows who he is here. So I mean, these don't look like debuts for a reason.
Yeah.
Is all I'll say. They look like they are guys with 3 or 4 fights because they come from gyms where that's just the norm.
Ferguson switching stances. He has not been using his nice, well-timed with that left to interrupt the kick. Good job by Orubor to keep his feet during that sweep. Now, Ferguson has not got a jab going much. He hasn't done much with the jab. The low kick's been the only, and the overhand right or the right hook have been really the only weapons he's had success with.
He's been throwing the cross as his opening straight. I definitely think the jab needs to be there.
He needs to fill that space because Orubor is getting the initiative on the jab game, and Ferguson is waiting until he's already in range to let the first strike go, which is easier said than done.
Orubor has slowed down enough to where Ryan's able to land some hands there. He has landed some hands in this round, but I'm still seeing just the trickle-down economy of this match just favoring Anthony more and more as it goes on.
Well, Orubor's going to the body and head with these kicks, and he hasn't landed one flush, but if he gets the range right, because Ferguson's been a little too close on most of them. Nice straight left from Ferguson.
I love the way Anthony's using the straights in this fight.
Yeah. If Anthony Orubor gets the range right on that head kick, it's going to be a big problem for Ferguson. He hasn't managed to do it yet, but it looks like he's trying to get to that head kick range.
He caught 2 great shots there on the way in, but
right hook from Orubor and a right hook from Ferguson answers right back.
Yeah, Ferguson's finally starting to land, but
low kick from Ferguson.
It is late in the game to be landing, but he's got 15 seconds to try to catch the golden snitch, and it looks like he's going to sell out on a couple punches here. He's looking for the big shot. 10 seconds, Snake saying you got to work. He's looking for it.
Big
He's firing knees up the middle. He's trying to strike on the break, but Anthony's aware. Oh, and Anthony strikes back hard on his own right, and they brawl to the final bell. From bell to bell, these 2 men go, and they put on a great fight, and Anthony Orubor, in my mind, just ran away with that one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Incredible. Incredible. I'm telling you, man, we're gonna have a wild one tonight with the MMA card. We've got a lot of great kickboxing fights come out. Royal Del Howell, they got him as an 0-0 on here. We already commentated one of his fights. We know he can fight. We know he can win. We commentated him in Winston-Salem. So some of these are wrong. Raimundo Estrada, we've seen him before. Sam Marler coming up. My boy EK taking on your boy Adrian De La Cruz. It should be an action-packed night here for the next couple hours. And then after that incredible kickboxing card, we've got MMA.
You flip the page. You flip the page.
There's a whole nother fight card here that you can charge $50 for.
Yeah, this is a fine show.
Absolutely.
This is a fine show. And then, wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Let's talk a little bit about Ekimini Idikudo, EK,
yes, sir,
versus Adrian De La Cruz. I'm a little biased.
I think you commentated EK's last fight.
I'm very familiar
with it. It was at Walker Vivian's in Florence, I believe. He got clinched to death in that fight. He was getting bullied in the clinch relentlessly. So I'm sure you went back and watched that video or got your hands on that video or just remembered that fight. But I've seen Adrian fight enough times to know that he can really go, and he's also capable of doing something that a lot of fighters are not capable of doing as early as, which is face adversity in a round, adapt and come back. We saw that in that last fight. Beautiful adjustments from him. I think that he's just so game. Your guy is just so game.
I'm a little biased.
Yes.
But that is one of the hallmarks of our fighters is that we don't get tired.
All right, boxers, center of the cage. Your winner by unanimous decision, improving his record to 2-0. It's Anthony Orubor.
A phenomenal,
excellent fight.
Stays undefeated.
A phenomenal performance from Anthony Orubor and the highest Stein MMA team.
I predict. So he's now 2-0.
Yes, now 2-0.
That next opponent's probably going to be a tough one. As good as Marcelo is at matchmaking, I predict that third fight is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is happening to Adrian now. He's 2-0, and he's getting EK, and we know that's going to be the toughest fight of his career so far.
I mean, 100%. EK is a guy who his record just simply doesn't reflect the amount of training that he has, because since that fight at Walker Vivian's, he's not stopped training. He's not stopped matchmaking. He had 2 fights where his opponents fell out. He had 1 fight where he thought, because he fought on Walker Vivian's, that his medicals would be good. They didn't get turned in